Welcome to Straight Talk for Entrepreneurs, where we reveal what it really takes to build a successful business. Whether you are starting with an idea or growing your business, this is the show for you. My guests and I will show you how to build a strong mindset, a powerful body, a profitable business. Hi, I'm Brandon C. White, and this is Build a Business Success Secrets. Hey everyone, welcome to Build a Business Success Secrets. We've got Helen here. Helen, thank you so much for joining us today. You're actually like 3 blocks away, I think.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, I really found your business on Instagram. We were talking about before we got on because you originally sold t-shirts. And for anybody, all the listeners know that I follow people on Instagram and check their businesses out. And I'm always interested in new things that people are doing. But I've actually been super impressed with all of our entrepreneurs from Half Moon Bay here, California, because I've seen people selling stuff on here that even the big brands aren't doing that I think work. So thanks again for coming. I'd like to start really, Helen, in a little bit how you even started your business.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a funny story. I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to this. It kind of happened by accident. So in 2017, it was my senior year of high school, and I had been messing around with calligraphy, and I've been kind of okay with it, and I liked it. And I loved giving gifts, and I had a bunch of friends, and I loved giving them gifts, but I couldn't afford it. So I was having a problem with that, and I knew that I could do hand lettering. And I was actually scrolling on Facebook one day, and I saw someone doing wood burning art, and I watched the video, and I was like, hey, I could do that. So I went on Amazon. I bought a $25 wood burning pen, and I started on some scrap wood in my dad's backyard, making presents for my friends, and they were all like, hey, you're pretty good at this. You should definitely consider maybe making a business out of this. I think people would actually purchase your work. So from there, I came up with a business name, and it kind of took off from there after I uploaded a bunch of pictures of my work on Instagram.
Now,
so it's kind of by accident.
Now, were you in high school at the time, or had you just graduated? Just so the listeners, because Helen, a lot of people out there say, well, I'm either too young, too old, or in between. They have 50 excuses why they can't build a business, right? But I think you did this right out of high school, sort of, right?
Yes, I believe it was during graduation or the week after. It was very close, if not the end of the school year or right after I graduated.
And you watched a video, and did you keep watching YouTube videos, or how? Because I read in your bio, I read the story. You are self-taught. I think you actually put it on the top of your website, right?
Yes. Self-taught pyrography. So I didn't continue to keep watching videos. I just saw one and messed around with it. My beginning work compared to what I do now is, well, it was beginner, but it just came with time and effort and a lot of work and a lot of practice. But I only watched one YouTube video and kind of did my own thing from there.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, did you take any art classes obviously in high school, but like, did you really focus on that?
No, I took my general, art classes in high school, but that was about it. I never took any calligraphy classes or watched a wood burning class, or it just kind of fell into place, really.
Well, that's awesome. Now, you do this because you don't have enough money, for lack of a better way to put it, to buy gifts, and you come up with the idea and you start making them. Now, do you post them to your personal Instagram page, or did you come up with Coastal Wood Designs name and launch that way?
I came up with the name and launched it that way. I was sharing to my personal account kind of on my stories and, hey, check out my new business. But I kind of just started focusing in on that business account rather than shoving it into my personal account.
And people started buying them. How did you figure out how to collect money?
Um, what do you mean collect money?
Like if I said, "Hey Helen, I want to buy your wood art and I've got my credit card," did you use PayPal, Stripe, or
Yeah,
Square?
yeah, I use PayPal, Apple Pay, cash, or check, whatever was easiest for the customer.
Well, how did you know how to do that?
I don't know. I just knew that I always knew it was the customer's happiness is the top priority of the business, and you need to adjust with them. So I opened up a PayPal account. I set up Apple Pay. I had Square for a while, but it didn't really work out. I prefer PayPal. But I just always knew that the customer's needs were always put first.
So can you talk about, you made a comment there that you didn't like Square. What didn't you like about Square?
I don't. I don't know. It just I used it for my first festival, Fish and Fleet Festival in 2017, and it kind of was the reception wasn't doing too good, and PayPal was always spot on, so I just stuck with them.
That's cool. I was just curious if it was a fees thing or if it was just an ease of use. Sounds like more of an ease of use and
Yes, ease of use.
interface thing. And just for our listeners, because again, Helen, you got to imagine someone who is just starting a business and to them, in many ways, it seems monumental. You're talking about it like, oh, I just went there and signed up, but you really can now just go there and sign up, right? And connect your bank account.
Yes, I recommend having all platforms of payment for all types because people have all types of payments. You know, some people have PayPal, some people don't. Some people only have Venmo, some people don't, etc. So I recommend having all platforms available.
I think that's a key lesson that you've clearly learned early. Be able to take people's money, right? If they want to give you money, you got to be able to take the money. So take us on this journey. One day you post it into a business account with a name that did you labor over this name or did it just come to you and you went with the first thing that came to you?
I definitely labored over it. I had a long list of names. This one, although I did have some second thoughts because it was a little long of a name. It wasn't, one punchline, one word. But I've grown to love it, and I think other people do. But I definitely had a very long list, and it took me probably about a week to decide, going over it with friends and family and myself. And it wasn't a quick decision at all.
Did you think about, I mean, we live here on the coast and I'm not even native. You're a native to the coast here, right?
Yep, born and raised.
Here in Half Moon Bay, California. I'm a native of the East Coast in the Chesapeake Bay. So, different,
Wow, big move.
different ocean. Yeah. Couldn't be happier. Best place in the world. Everybody says, where do you want to go on vacation? I was like, what are you talking about? I'm on vacation every single day.
Yeah,
Right?
most people who leave always come back.
It's the truth, right? You would know that.
Yep.
Why would you ever leave Half Moon Bay, California?
I don't know.
It does. But did you think about the word, the coming to the local community and really embrace the coastal part of it? Did you feel like our coast here in California, especially Northern California, has a brand that people would relate to?
Definitely. I did want to include the name coastal because that is such a special word to a lot of people. And that word itself represents Half Moon Bay. It is a coastal community. So I wanted to fit that in there somewhere.
So you get the idea, you don't have enough money to buy these gifts effectively, which makes sense. And then you watch a video, you buy the materials on Amazon, you start making them. People say, oh my God, Helen, this is awesome. I think you should sell it. You come up with a name, you create an Instagram account. Now, if I'm doing the math in my head so far, this is under $500.
Yeah, way under. probably under that.
$100?
My pen was $25, and I practiced on scrap wood. So when I bought some wood from Amazon, maybe $10 worth of it at the time, so $35.
So you got less than $100 in Coastal Wood Designs, and you're already selling, and you've got a free storefront on Instagram, and you effectively are in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you post the picture, and I know with me, if I start a new account, like you have no followers. So how did you leverage your local or your personal page, and how can you explain a little bit about how you transferred that over?
Yeah. So we'll get into social media, I'm sure, later. It's actually pretty complicated, but it's a very useful tool. I keep my personal account and my business account separate. So the people that I follow on my business account, I don't follow all my friends and family on there. I strictly follow local businesses only, or small businesses around the state or around the country. So I stick to following local businesses and small businesses, and most of them follow me back. Almost all of them do. And I found that there's a huge community of businesses on Instagram, and we all support each other. We all follow each other back, and we all share each other's posts. We like each other's posts, we comment, or we purchase each other's things. So there's a huge business community on there. And that's how I kind of got my word out, was I followed every single social media account that was linked to Half Moon Bay businesses and some other small businesses that I found around the state. So that's how I would recommend getting started, is just following all the other businesses, because they will lift you up.
Yeah, so let's not wait. Let's just talk about social media, because why wait? And truthfully, everybody wants to know everybody thinks, Helen, that there's this magic checklist or magic formula that Helen got, that the stork delivered somehow out back, and you got it and it just worked, right? It's actually hard work.
It's very hard work. So social media, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people refuse it. But in a business setting, it is my most useful tool. I do not put ads anywhere. I do not knock on businesses' doors and ask them to sell my pieces as wholesale. I do not send out flyers. I've only done 2 festivals in 3 years of my business. I don't market anywhere else except for social media. I don't put ads on TV, radio, etc. All I do is social media. So I think people really should, who want to start a business or are in a business, open up an Instagram account and start there, and start following other businesses so they can check you out and share your business to their followers, and so on. So that's how I would recommend getting started. It's a huge, huge tool. Actually, I just had a festival this weekend called the Fall Festival. It was a mini outdoor festival with 4 other artists. It went really well. But one of the artists said to me, who didn't have an Instagram account, she goes, "Helen, where are all these people coming from to see you?" But she was like blown away by these people that I was meeting, who have bought my things before, but I've never met them in person. And she's like, "Did you send out emails? What did you do?" I said, "All I do is run an Instagram, and that's where I meet all these wonderful people." So it's a really big tool, and I think businesses should take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's where I actually was going. I was riding I wound up, I think you ended at 3:00 or something, the Fall Festival. And I didn't get on my bike early enough, but I was going to come by. But I will say that, and I want to ask you some questions about that's how I learned that you were going to be at the Fall Festival. And I want to talk about that, because one of the things that I find you and actually some other local businesses here do, I just don't understand why people don't do with their business. I don't know if they're scared, but I will tell listeners to follow Helen at Coastal Wood
Designs.
Yeah, Coastal Wood Designs. So they would just, I think you just search Coastal Wood Designs and Helen, and you could Google that, and it'll come up the Helen's Instagram.
Yeah,
Um,
and a Facebook page too.
and a Facebook page. The is that you people will get a product and then they'll want to get a light box. And when I see you, Helen, you're just taking the phone and showing the stuff. But the reason that I love it so much is because I actually get perspective. I can see how big it is, right? It's not in a light box, and it doesn't wind up like a little wood design, and it shows up in my doorstep the size of a iPod thing. I have context, and you actually do these things that probably people who do this for a living charge a lot of money for or something, because they do it on the Home Shopping Network and places like that. But you even turn these things, right? And you'll say, oh, this is lifted. Remember your surf design that you have? I think the surfboard was lifted. So
yeah,
like, did you just make this up, Helen, or how did it, like, you just did it?
all my angles you're saying?
Yeah, like, I mean, did you just come natural and you're like, well, I'm just going to take the phone and I'm going to do this angle and I'm going to show this?
I think part of it did come natural. Another thing, I also my senior year of high school, I worked at a store on Main Street called West Main. It's now called Hometown Mercantile. It was a great store, great opportunity. It was a retail interior design store, and I loved that job. And part of my job was running their Instagram account. So that's kind of where I learned the aesthetic of posts and how to make them, eye-popping, proportional, good-looking. That's kind of where I learned how to do that, was at my job at West Main running their social media account. So I did kind of learn from there. But another thing is just puddling through other popular accounts and seeing what photos, how are they taking their photos, what filter are they using, what angle are they using, to where people are liking it. They just like the way it looks. They just want to like it because it's a cute photo. They may not purchase it, but it just looks good, and it pops and it catches their eye on their feed. So I was looking at other profiles too, the really famous ones, seeing what did they do differently, how are they making their page aesthetic and eye-popping. So I kind of went off that.
I think there's this other thing called just feedback, right? You get a post, you make it, nobody likes it, nobody sends you a message or something, and then you're like, oh, well, okay, I should probably change that.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed, the posts that I have plants in them, when I have succulents in them, people love succulents. When I have that as the background, or the beach is the background, it's usually more intriguing than when I have my deck as the background. And then I choose backgrounds based off of the piece. So if I'm doing kind of a more feminine piece, I'll choose plants as the background. If I'm doing a more masculine piece, I'll choose wood or copper background or some kind of metal. Or if it's too big, I'll take a photo of me holding it, because I've done some really large pieces that I want people to see the proportion of. So the background has to reflect the piece, I think, as well.
And I've seen some, I want to ask you how you built your quote unquote workshop. I think you have one now because you've gotten big enough. Do you find that you get good success when you show a piece from start to finish being made?
Yeah, I've actually done a few videos on TikTok, which is funny. I know a lot of people have problems with TikTok. It's very addicting. But I have done a few sped up videos, or I got a little camera mount to attach my phone to and put over my pieces while I'm burning, and do a time lapse or speed it up so people can watch me burn. And people say it's one of those very extremely satisfying videos to watch me burn in the wood. So yeah, people like watching videos of my stuff too. And
yeah, it sounds like there's a YouTube opportunity there to me.
Yes. Yep. I've definitely been thinking about that and have had a lot of suggestions to do so.
Yeah, my nephew is 13 years old, and I sometimes when I'm driving down Route 1 or pedaling down Route 1 or pedaling
Yeah.
on my bike, I'll take the video. And he's like, you should post your whole ride. And I'm thinking to myself, it's so boring. Like, I mean, it's beautiful, but do you really want to watch a guy ride a bike? Or I think burning wood is really interesting, but you got to ask yourself, like, who's going to watch a 45-minute? And my nephew said, well, Dad and I run YouTube videos, and there's people out there that watch people just mowing their yard. And I was like, okay. Like,
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too. Like, how many hours can you actually watch me burn wood? So, but I mean, for your biking, you could just do a really sped up video and add music, you know? So I was thinking if I were to do a YouTube channel, I would break it up. I would do an introduction, me telling about what I'm going to make, film a little bit of it, and then another interruption, you know, kind of more like a vlog type rather than straight wood burning. Because again, how many hours can you watch me do this?
yeah, I would say though that as I'm listening to you, I probably could watch you build it a lot because each of your pieces is different.
Yeah, each of them, they are so different. They are so
So
different.
you're not pumping out the same thing. You're building a different
Mm-hmm.
design, or, there's a nuance. So I think that would be interesting. What is your strategy around? Is it fair to say that Instagram right now, I know you have a Facebook page, but is Instagram your main outlet?
Yes. Yeah. Instagram, I get, my top posts will get 300-400 likes on them. And my Facebook will get maybe 20, 30. So I like to do Facebook because some of the older generation is on Facebook rather than on Instagram. So I like to accommodate for them too. So yeah, Instagram is definitely number one.
And can we talk about one thing that I always like to cut to the chase on, and I don't want any numbers, but everybody wants the like because they want the dopamine hit. But as it relates to sales, do you get more sales on Instagram as well?
Yes, all of my sales. Well, yeah, most of my sales come through Instagram. I do get some on Facebook, but it's just how I get my posts out there, how I get my name out there, and it's not like a direct click the button purchase. I want that piece. You know, you message me, you talk to me, I'll text you or call you. It'll be something totally separate. So it's not really like I get all my sales from Instagram. It's more just how many people can I reach to get those sales. It's not like you just purchase my piece through Instagram. You have to message me separately.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing because I was actually trying to I was like, well, where's all of Helen's prices? But I think you may have done something smart is that you actually have to message you and contact you, which now creates a personal relationship.
Yeah. So I haven't had the time to have stock and build up a page where you can purchase my items. I haven't really had time to create that other platform. So my pricing depends on the size of the wood and how much is on it. And I found that I really like to work within the customer's budget. So they will tell me what they want on the wood. If they don't know what they want, I'll help them with the design. From there, they will tell me their budget and I will choose a wood size according to their budget. So I know times are tight, so I really do like to ask them their budget first so I can choose the size of wood for them instead of rather making it and saying, hey, this is X amount of dollars. And they're like, whoa, I never agreed to that. So that's kind of how I like to go about it.
And are most of your customers, do you really focus on Half Moon Bay customers or the coast, Pacifica, Half Moon Bay, Pescadero type market?
Yeah, I mean, that's where most of my sales come from. I don't know if I would focus exactly on, I'm not really thinking about a particular person or group of people. I just post stuff that's beautiful and what people like, or I'll post my custom work. And it's not like I'm like, okay, Half Moon Bay people would love this piece. It's more, what are just general people going to like in my work? But that's definitely where most of my sales come from are Half Moon Bay and Pacifica and Pescadero. I do have some sales throughout the Bay Area as I've gotten my name out there through social media, but most of them do happen within the co-side.
Now, what is your strategy on this? There's like a lot of debate, as you probably know, or I don't know whether it's debate or discussion, but on stories versus posts. And I always, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you have a strategy or how do you approach it?
I do have a strategy. So for stories, I like to have a filter on them. I choose kind of a light, airy filter that brightens up the photo. And stories are kind of what gets people's attention because it comes at the top of the bar of your Instagram page. It happens at the very top. So when you're posting stories a lot, people know you're active. And stories are where I can show you the extreme details of my work, how it's done, what I'm doing in my day, close-ups, etc. So when people see your stories, they're like, oh, they're live. Oh, I want to see what Coastal Wood Designs is doing today. Oh, I want to see what Brandon's doing today. Where's he biking? So that kind of gets people knowing that you're active, you're there for them, you want to show them what you're doing, you're working hard for them. And in posts, I usually like to do once a day. I don't like to blow up people's feed. I do once a day, once every other day, a dramatic big post. I like to post in the evening when people are off work, or 4 o'clock through 8 o'clock I found is the best time to post. And then I usually do hashtags too. I used to not do hashtags. I found that they really help. That's how you found me. So I put hashtags in my comments rather than in the caption because they can get kind of bulky in the caption. So that's how I go about my posts.
So explain that real quick, because I actually had a question I was going to ask you beforehand, but I've saved it. And now you've teed it up with a very slow pitch, which is I haven't seen a ton of hashtags in your stories.
I haven't done hashtags in stories. I noticed some people do it. I haven't done it. I probably should.
Yeah, I was just curious if there's a strategy. I use it. You can only use 10 for listeners out there. In the story, you can only use 10. In the post, you can use 30. So that I thought that was interesting. And then tell us again, you make your main post and then you reply to your post with the hashtags?
Yes, I put it in the comments. So yeah, it's like I would be commenting on someone's photo. I comment on my own photo. So it's kind of hidden when someone sees the post because I don't want them reading the caption and then getting blown up with hashtags like, whoa, it takes away from the aesthetic of the post. So you want to have it. I recommend having it in the comments and it still applies to your post. Like your photo will still be tagged to that hashtag, even if you put it in the comments.
And do you find that, or are you worried? Are you counting followers and whatnot, or are you more concerned that people really just find you? I mean, if they follow you, of course, that's a key performance indicator that you would keep track of. But does everyone that finds you, buys from you, follow you, or how do you think about that? Because you're getting 300 likes is a lot.
Yeah. Recently, my likes have been going up because I've been posting more detailed posts and more dramatic pieces I've been posting. And I just recently did a 1,000 follower giveaway. So that gave me a bunch of new followers. But I do pay attention to followers. Most people who buy from me do follow me. Sometimes I'll get a lot of random likes from the hashtags where people are following a hashtag. They'll see it, they'll like it, they won't follow me. But I think followers are most important because that's your returning customer. Is a follower means a returning customer.
Now, here's a question. Do you keep an email list of your customers and email them, or do you rely on Instagram to communicate with them?
I do not email them. I rely on Instagram, or I provide them my email number, my email and my phone number if they'd like to contact me that way. But I contact them all through Instagram.
And do you have a strategy to always keep because stories expire after 24 hours? Do you have a strategy? I've been actually terrible at it, mainly because of just time and there's only so much you can focus on. So
right.
and I obviously have this podcast, but do you like to keep 4 stories? Like you never want I always see you. Like when I log in, I always see that you have something new. So do you time it so that you always have a story up there, at least one segment?
Uh, yeah, usually that's what I go for, at least one segment. I don't try to have a certain amount of stories at a time, but like you said, you always see me. And that's the Instagram algorithm. I believe there is one. And to get on that algorithm and on that pattern, you got to be posting stories because that will pop up. People will see Coastal Wood Designs is live today. Boom. Oh, they have a new post. Wow, I like that. I want to buy that. So it brings people to your profile. And I always try to have one thing at a time. And if I don't have time, just snap a quick photo of the coast side or my lunch, anything for people to see what is Coastal Wood Designs doing today.
Yeah, I would agree, and it is the algorithm. I find it interesting. I think at one point I had like 12,000 followers on Instagram. Maybe now I have 8. I don't know. I'm terrible at.
Wow.
You gotta engage, right? It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you're definitely. That's why I was curious because you do always pop up. Now I'm seeing all the Half Moon Bay. Thanks to you, Helen, for everybody, posted this local community, I don't know, directory, would you call it? It seemed like it was a lot of work, Helen.
Well, I got tagged in this, which I need to catch up on. I got tagged in this post called October Maker Challenge. And it's every day you got to post something about your business. And there's a list of what you need to share, like favorite book, favorite place. And then one of the days was local artist, your favorite local artist. And I was like, geez, I cannot choose. So I'm going to list, it was like 4 stories full of just
4
people.
pages.
Yeah, because I was like, I love everybody around here. And if I forgot you, I'm sorry, but I try to get everyone that I support on the coast on there.
Now, I think it's important to realize that this is a side hustle for you, right?
Yeah, big time. So my regular job is I work for Tammy Von Allman with Von Allman Interiors. And I've worked there for about 2 years. It's been a huge blessing. I love that job. It's all about interior design. It's just me and her, so I'm her assistant. So that is my usual job. And it varies from part-time to full-time. And then I'm also go to school. This semester, I currently don't. I just finished at College of San Mateo, and I'll be transferring in spring 2021. So this semester I have off, and that's why you've seen me posting more and having more time to focus on my woodwork. Because before I had full-time job, I had my woodwork, and I was going to school part-time. Not including, self-care and taking care of my family and hanging out with friends and so on. So I'm definitely a busy bee.
So let's talk about that. How does that work? Like, do you block your time? I mean, it's a side hustle. People want to know, right? Every business, Helen, that I've ever started, including the one that I was able, luckily, 2 of them to sell, were all started as side hustles. And maybe I'd had some hopes. I always say that they start as a project, which sounds like you, right? They start as a project, and then you sort of have a product, and then you figure if the product has product market fit, and then somebody wants it, and then you start a business. So do you block time to build these? Do you?
When I was really busy, I did it when I felt like doing it. It was kind of, like I said, it's funny that people think of this as a business to me because it still is so fun for me. And people always ask, how much time does it take you to do this work? And I'm like, I have no clue because I just zone out and I do my art. So it's kind of funny, you're saying, do you block out time? It's just whenever I'm not at work or doing school, I'm thinking about my business. So it just kind of comes to me whenever there's time in my head to think about it and focus on it. And I do it when I have any spare time at all, I'll do it.
But what happens, like, for instance, the festival that you did this past weekend and you get 30 orders. Now what?
So I will think about my work schedule in the future, and then I will kind of give them a lead time. If you do need a product, within 2 days, I got an order yesterday, and she's like, "Hey, can you get it done by Saturday? It's like an emergency art project." I'll get it done. That's why you're coming to me. You're shopping small, you're shopping local, and you're shopping handmade. So if you need something ASAP and custom and beautiful, I'll get it done for you, and I'll push it through. If this is an emergency gift, or an emergency piece, I'll do that. But if I'm thinking about, my schedule in my head, I'll give, lead time is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But usually I try to work within the time frame they need it by. So I'll ask them, what do you want on your piece? What's your budget? And what is your timeline?
Now, recently, I've seen you, I want to say, taking it to the next level, because I see these ocean pieces that you're very honest and said that you don't. I was actually I don't know, a little shocked. You got on there and you said, "Hey, here's my new piece. I'll let you describe it. It's really beautiful." And but you said, "I don't do this yet. I outsource this, and then I do this part." So are you seeing your product's really evolving? It sounds like.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is. Those are made from epoxy and resin. And I have a friend do these wave designs out of the epoxy and resin for me. His name's Hunter Lemke. He's a great artist himself. I'm working on getting him an Instagram page. But he was born and raised here too. And I have him do that for me because it's a whole different craft that I'm not prepared for. It's really stinky and really messy and really sticky. So I don't have the studio space or the materials for that or the knowledge. He already knows how to do it. So I let him take over that part. He passes me the wood and I add on my wood burning, and we share the profits.
So you actually do, you don't pay him a wholesale price. You actually split some percentage. That's the agreement.
Yeah. We're friends. So it's not really, it's more of a friend, setting. It's not like, hey, give me my portion now once I give you these pieces. It's when I sell the pieces, and they have been going quick. So I will pay him when the pieces sell. If he wants the payment up front, I'll give it to him that way too. But this is just kind of what we've agreed on.
That's excellent. Now, I was going to ask you, do you hope that this becomes your full-time job? Do you care? I don't know what you're studying right now. What are you studying in college?
I am studying business administration with a focus in marketing.
Oh, there you go. I think you're doing a pretty good job already. So do you think about that, or do you not think about? We talked a little bit beforehand, but
I have thought about it. Right now, it's a side hustle. I don't know where I'm going to be when I finish schooling. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a crazy job opportunity. I'm kind of going with the flow, and wherever life takes me, I'm up for it. I don't know if I would be ready to do it as full time, but right now I'm having really fun doing it, and we'll see where I am in the future once I get, a career.
And as importantly, is it fair to say it's making you some money?
Yes.
So that side hustle income is always a really nice chunk of change to supplement what you have, right?
Yeah, it is a chunk of change, and it's also good for my mental health. I mean, it's like I said, it's a haven for me, and that's part of my outlet where I release some of that stress, but I also make money off of it. That's why I said it's crazy that people think of it as a business sometimes to me, because again, it's so fun, and I really, really enjoy it.
So let's just talk about that one point though for a minute. You said it earlier and I skipped over it, but I'm glad you brought it back, because isn't it strange, Helen, that people believe, and I'm going to say America, right? It could happen in other parts of the world, but let's just talk about where you and I live so we can be experts. They believe that if you have a business that you love doing, that's not possible. right? Because that's what they say. That's what you're explaining. You're saying, I can't believe that people are saying this because I love doing it. Isn't it interesting that there's this perception that business can't be fun or that you can't love your business?
Yeah, and it's sad that there is that perception that people are so driven by money. But I think when you find something you love to do so much, the money will come with it without you trying. Pushing priority is not money. Priority is making a good product, loving what you do, and the money will come with it.
Yeah, I think you just summed up I think I spent $110,000 on my MBA from a top school. But I think the long and short of it is what you just like, make a product that people want to pay you for and
Yeah.
figure out how to, and then charge them for it and then figure out the business.
Yeah, and make sure it's something that you love. And like you said, with your degree, that's what you found out. I have been in I have been in the business learning about, I've been in business school for 2 years now, and I haven't learned that yet. I haven't learned, do what you love to do and the money will follow.
Oh,
Work hard. I
yeah.
never learned that in school. I've learned everything that I've run my business off of. I've learned mainly by myself. I do think school's essential, but I have yet to hear from one of my business professors that find out what you love to do, work hard at it, don't stop, and the money will come with it.
Well, maybe one of your professors is listening to this podcast and will spoil my prediction, but my prediction will be is that that's not what they teach in business school. But I will agree with you that for me, business school, not all school, is very useful for the frameworks that,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
You absolutely. And when I started my first business, I had a psychology degree and was working on my master's in psychology. And that's not a business degree,
Yeah.
but in many ways, actually, it is. That's another probably podcast to talk about. But because business is about people, but the things that you can learn about accounting, and I don't know, Helen, if you would agree with me, but you've got to be able to run a spreadsheet if you're going to run a business.
Yes. Yeah. You have to understand profit and loss. That is obviously number one. Make sure you're making it worth your time. You have to have that framework. I definitely agree. And how to create a business, all the legal aspects of it, that's very important as well, of course.
Now, have you incorporated, or are you just running that as a sole proprietorship or an LLC, or how have you handled that as a side hustle?
I just run it as a sole proprietorship, just by me. Yeah.
Well, cool. What, I guess I want to talk about just real quick do you think that you'll have a website like Shopify or Etsy? Have you thought about anything like that? I think I actually found you have an account in Etsy with 3 products, maybe your earrings. I'm doing this by memory. Could be old.
Yeah, I
right?
got to delete that account. That was from when I first started. I got to revamp that Etsy site. A lot of people have asked me about Etsy, and I probably should focus on that. But like I said, I get so much business through Instagram and Facebook and promoting through there. I haven't found the need to build a website or a website that has items in stock. Also, haven't had time to make things, to put on there and list where you can just press a button and click purchase. So I definitely have been lacking in that aspect of business. But I am open to having a more official website. I currently have a website through Instagram. It's called Shake, something like that. It's run through Instagram.
Yeah, is it called Milkshake?
Milkshake, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was scrolling through it. I was scrolling through it last night. I was like, Milkshake.
Yeah,
Helen's using Milkshake.
Yeah, it's a free website run through Instagram. You have to have an Instagram account, and they make it really simple, and they have layouts for you. And again, the aesthetic is really nice, easy peasy, different slides that people can click through. But I should I should focus on, you know, a www.coastalwooddesigns.com, you know, but for now, this Instagram link works great.
And I think if you're watching this on YouTube, you should be able to see Helen's Coastal Wood Designs Instagram page, and you can click on her link. And
Yeah,
it says right
quick.
here, like, this isn't super hard, Helen. You've got a DM for orders, right?
Yep.
And what is this commissions open? So you're open to anything. Is that what that means?
Yeah, so I'm taking custom orders currently. A lot of artists put in their bio, you know, if they're too busy with orders, they'll say, you know, custom orders, commissions closed. So I just like to make it obvious to new followers or followers that, hey, I'm ready to take your custom order.
Yeah, here's what I saw right here, this surf. I had my eye on that. Did you sell that yet?
I did.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, I have a custom order for you that I guess I can say it on here. Maybe we'll have it done by the time. My wife, as we talked about, runs a local business now called Half Moon Bay Dog Sports, which is a dog agility training.
Fun.
Yeah, pretty cool. And I thought that I would have you put her logo on there. Potentially, it's her running with a dog and maybe running along the beach. So you and I'll have to talk about afterwards. But
Yeah, let me know. I've done a lot of logos for businesses around town.
and I showed her. Yvette is my wife's name. The spoons. She was like, "Oh my God, that's so cute." That's a new addition too, right?
I've actually done that for a while, but I slowed down for a bit there. I started doing spoons probably in 2018, but I haven't had any orders for them recently. But I kind of dove into that. I got a custom order for it, and then I made some for the fall festival this past weekend as well. But I like to have options, you know, all different types of surfaces to work on, all different, you know, spoons, different size plaques. I work on cutting boards. I'm actually wearing wood burnt earrings that I did
Yes,
as well.
I was gonna ask. I was looking on here. I saw somewhere, and I read a story. I think that you talk about why you do earrings because something about the energy. Do you remember what I saw? You wrote something about why you do earrings.
That might have been when I started making sea glass earrings.
That's it.
Maybe that was it. Instead of the wood burnt earrings, I started making sea glass earrings to raise funds for family in need that were affected by COVID-19.
Oh, here we go. Wood earrings, lightweight and unique. Wood burned earrings are available in various shapes and patterns. And I've got to believe that you took that with an iPhone, right?
Yep.
And I'm only mentioning that because listeners always want to tell me they don't have the right equipment and all this crazy stuff. So.
Oh yeah, all you need is an iPhone. You're good. I have the iPhone 10, so for reference.
Yeah, that's what I have, and it seems to work good. On this milkshake thing that hopefully everybody can see on the screen if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, go to Coastal Wood Designs. You could Google that, and then I just added Helen's name at the end, and it'll bring up her Instagram page and probably her Facebook page, I think is number 2 in Google. How long did it take you to do this little milkshake? And did you do it on your phone or did you do it on your computer?
I did it on my phone. So I downloaded the app. I signed up through my Instagram account, and gosh, that maybe took me maybe an hour to do all those pages. I have a good amount of slides discussing what I do, a bio discussing what I do, what I work on, and some special projects that I've done. So it took me maybe about an hour, and it's free.
Are you running this whole thing off of your phone essentially?
Yeah. Yes.
There you go. It can be done, people. You don't have it. Now I do want to ask one more question. Well, actually that's not true, but I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, you mentioned earlier, I caught that you said, I don't have room in my studio. Now, can we interpret studio as spare bedroom or garage, or how could we interpret that?
You can interpret it as spare bedroom. I do not have a really pretty studio space that some artists have. It is our spare bedroom that we haven't slept in a long time. The walls are purple. There's rainbow shelves in there. It's nothing cute. It's has a bed in there, and it's messy. I have my wood stuff all over the shelves, and it's an organized mess, I can say, but it's just a spare bedroom that I work in. I have a skylight in there that I open up, and a big window and fans going so I can get enough airflow, because the wood is pretty stinky, and it's not good to breathe in those fumes. So yeah, I just work in a spare bedroom.
There you go. That's really cool. You would never guess it. Like, I look at that earring picture, I was like, that looks professional. I mean, not that it is professional, but to think that you can do that on your phone with an iPhone now is pretty incredible.
Yeah, iPhones are great. I love them. The camera is fantastic, and I try to take most of my photos outside. Natural light seems to complement my pieces best, rather than having them inside. And I just find really cool backgrounds. I am lucky. My dad is kind of an artist himself. My backyard is very eclectic. I should probably do a tour one day, and on my Instagram story, and show you guys. There's a lot of fun metalwork, copper, plants. Most of my photos are in my backyard. My dad has a lot of fun stuff, a lot of art going on, a lot of fun backgrounds. So I do have to give him some credit for that aesthetic in my photos.
Well, that's cool. Let's finish up with 3 HPTs, high percentage tips, that you would give someone from anything, sales, marketing, getting started, but how to run a side hustle.
So I just want to say that it can be done. I am a college student who is living in their parents' house on a budget, and I also work full-time somewhere else. It can be done at any age. I started this my senior year in high school with no knowledge in business whatsoever, just went with the flow. But high percentage, I would say number one would be, make sure you are doing what you love. Do not do something that you are lukewarm about. I have doubts that it would succeed. You have to be very, very passionate about what you're doing, because with passion comes a good product. Passion comes a good service. So those things go hand in hand. And also, to be passionate about it, this is not going to be 9 to 5 at all. This is not a 9 to 5 job. You are going to be thinking about this, at least I do, like every hour of the day. On the weekends, I'll be burning at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday. You know, it's not 9 to 5. You're going to be doing this more hours than you think. You're going to be working on this very, very hard. So make sure that you love it, because it's not going to be clocking out, okay, I'm done for the day, you know. Number two would be customer relationships. I think those are really key. You need to hold on to those relationships. I have met so many wonderful people, and I don't just give them the wood and dump them. You know, here's your wood, thanks, bye. You know, I stay in contact with them. I message them, see how they're doing. How do you like your piece? Does the person that you gave it to, do they love it? Do you want something else? Let me know how I can help. So customer relationships are huge, 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 and you will meet amazing, amazing people. And I've actually made a lot of friends through this business. So make sure you hold on to those people, because it's not what you know, it's who you know, as you all know. And then number three would be, again, social media. Take advantage of it. That is my only marketing, platform that I do. And it has taken off, and I've met, again, so many amazing, amazing people. And I want to thank everyone who has supported me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whether it just be a like on my post, or a share, or actually purchasing something, or telling a friend like, hey, I got this lady who does custom wood art. That's all done through social media. And I really want to, we talked a lot about that, emphasize that. That's very important. But just be kind to people, make friends, hold on to those relationships, because this is a small town. And if you're treating people badly, they will not support your business. So you have to be kind to people, treat them with respect. And, you're going to meet, the best part about about this business is I have met so many amazing people, and friendships that I will keep with me forever.
Those were awesome. I think you can teach a business class yourself.
Yeah. Maybe. It just kind of comes naturally. That too, I mean, again, it comes naturally because I love it so much. I'm not forcing this. This is what I love to do. I love people and I love art, and to be able to share it with them and use it to help my community sometimes, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and making time. I know we had it planned a week ago and you were building a whole bunch of inventory, and I was watching it on the stories, and it looks like it
I'm going crazy.
turned out great for you. And thanks for really opening up and sharing so much about your business. Because what you've shared today is going to really help a lot of people. And I just want
Yeah.
to thank you for that and congratulate you on your success. Like it's really incredible. I'm excited to see what happens over the next 1, 2, and 3 years with Coastal Wood Designs.
Yeah, it should be good. And like I said, the community's been amazing here, and I just want to thank all of them for it. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Okay, take care.